with your boy Reek, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling Is My Thing podcast. I would like to introduce first my PIC from the Metro City, my one and only brother, Nicky D. Man, what's going on?
What's up? How's it going?
And up here next to me, man, if you guys don't know who this is, go and check out Huge Pop Wrestling. Got episodes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, pretty much almost all the week. Go and check them out on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Thank you for coming on the show, Huge Pop.
No problem, man. We're Huge Pop for life, bro. Thank you for being on my podcast. So,
yes, and people, please go check out the merchandise over at WrestlingTees.com.
ProWrestlingTees.com. Look up Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Buy your Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast t-shirts. I know Nicky D has a couple of them. So,
yep. I just don't have it on right now, but I do.
Well, great. But no, thank you for having me on. Wrestling Is My Thing, Rick. I appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt. So, man, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw last night. I hope you guys got to check it out. So we'll start off with Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. What do you guys think about this, like, constant going back and forth with the Judgment Day, Sami and KO? It just seems like it's never going to stop there. What are your takes on that, man?
Yeah, I like it because it kind of keeps it's extending the storyline, if you will, of the Judgment Day, and there's all this inner turmoil that's going on, and you could see like where even the previous week, where Rhea and Dirty Dom are like trying to talk to him, and she's telling them you two have to work together, and so Damian and Finn are not on the same page, but that group is still together. Even though there's issues, they're still together. So I like it. And then the whole thing with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is like, I like it. I personally like it. I think it works. It piques my interest, and that's what matters. If people are into it,
Right.
Yep.
I totally agree with you, Nicky D. It works. I like the fact that last night that if you notice that the Judgment Day, rest of the Judgment Day weren't at ringside.
Nope, not at all.
And I like seeing that. I like to see, that they weren't there. That's what stuck out in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm as big a fan as the Judgment Day storyline as Nicky D is. Sometimes I feel that it is thrown together. But that's my opinion on all of Monday Night Raw. I think if you compare Raw to SmackDown, I think there's more of a consistent patterns of how the show goes in SmackDown compared to how Raw sometimes feels. But that's just a personal opinion on that. So
yeah, you got your differences on the show and stuff, and
yeah.
Well, what they're doing with Judgment Day is good. And first of all, let's just say, prayers and thoughts with the Rotunda family, the loss of Bray, loss of Terry Funk. Just that's two greats gone right there. Bray obviously taken way too soon, man. And guys, I got a video real quick. I just wanted to play it. People probably have already seen it, but I just wanted to play it one more time.
Before you go there, I went on that Sami Zayn thing. Did you guys check that moonsault that he did off that top rope?
Yes.
That was nasty.
That was nice, man.
That was nasty good. That was
you
cool.
don't see Sammy doing a lot of stuff.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah.
No,
and
you don't.
I hated Sami Zayn until I seen him live.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was the worst ever character worker. I couldn't stand the guy. I had a chance to see him live, and Cody, my son Cody, and I sat in second row. And he's like, my wife's on the other place. He made some huge pop moments. And last night it was huge. Last night's spot was unbelievable. So anyway, sorry to cut you off, Rico.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. I love hearing about Sammy, man. He's definitely stepped it up. But let's go ahead and pay this tribute to Bray.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world
It's our creating some kind of buzz here, man. You ain't seen nothing yet. Behold, a new face of fear. Walk by my side, and I will lead you to paradise. We're here. See your body dancing, feel the magic on the floor. They try to say we lost you, but they never can score. You never had a last time, you couldn't outshine. You gave us everything, and now your memory's mine. This is the Firefly Funhouse. You know who you are the ever known. You shine on, you shiver. You wanna see my secret? Currency moves from every inch of your bone. Never give in. Yowie wowie. You are the ever known. Golden hour sunset in the space between the shores. You couldn't outshine. You left us everything, but still you're leaving us more. I can truly say that I have the whole damn world in my hand. Never give in. You are the end. I would like to welcome you all to the era of Wyatt. This is my favorite new toy. This is such good. You're more than just a photograph. The resin in my mind, we're still together. Your spirit is all over me. Your smile is with me while I'm dreaming. I miss you, but I know it means you're mine. I am the color red in a world full of black and white. I am the eater of worlds. I, Bray Wyatt, am forever. We'll follow you on to wherever you go. Never give in. You are the ever known. And I can look all of you in the eyes and I can say thank you.
Damn it, Rico. Damn it, Rico. Sure.
Kind of gets you, man. It just gets you.
You know, and it does. And it sucks. And it sucks for his family. And it sucks for his kids. And it's, you know, I'll be honest with you. I was more of a Bray Wyatt fan than I was a Fiend fan.
Oh yes,
especially the Firefly Funhouse. I wasn't a fan of that, but it doesn't take away from what he was.
His creativity.
As a father, as a husband, as a wrestler, as everything. And man, that happened just way too soon. And I do want to prop. I heard Roman Reigns presented the blue brand belt to Bray's wife. So it's almost like he relinquished it to his wife, and that's just class.
That's respect right there, man.
That's class. Yes. And, yeah.
And I really like the Fiend character a lot. We were talking about that in the Firefly Funhouse, but I got to say my most favorite moments was the Wyatt family.
Yes.
Like I truly love those moments a lot more.
Yes.
But
yeah. The Wyatt family was, that's ageless. That was like, it was different. There were like these people from the swamp, and they came out of nowhere, and you would forget actually that dude was Husky Harris.
Oh, I remember Husky Harris.
What he did though, when he created that character of Bray Wyatt, is he made you completely forget about Husky Harris. You were just it's just Bray Wyatt. And that group was huge. They did things with other people. Remember, Daniel Bryan was in kind of with them. They were trying to bring him in, and you kind of thought for a minute he was brainwashed and part of the group. They did so many things, and then I liked the Firefly Funhouse thing was different. It was quirky, but I liked the Fiend character, and I kind of liked how he was like, hey, you know, all having fun and come check out the Firefly Funhouse. And then he would trip. Like, it was like he had a different personality when he was the Fiend. And
Right.
so to me, he recreated himself again.
I mean,
And
don't take it wrong, Nikki. I don't think I disliked the Fiend, but it seemed like it was weird and quirky with the Firefly Funhouse. And at times I was like, who is writing this stuff?
oh yeah.
Well, it's just Bray giving you that, you know, his fun.
I think he was
side,
allowed,
and then he
yeah,
goes to the crazy side.
Yeah, I think he was allowed that creativity because he got so big. His character was so over. Think about this. A lot of people don't remember this. That Royal Rumble. Okay, remember the Royal Rumble that Batista came out and won? Rey Mysterio was number 30, and the fans were all ooh, boo, and they're all hemming and hawing because they wanted Daniel Bryan to come out, and that's when Daniel Bryan was like so unbelievably over. And I was sitting there, I was kind of annoyed at that because I'm like, okay, first off, you're booing Rey Mysterio, and secondly, Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Royal Rumble, but despite that, those two worked a match. Daniel Bryan fought Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt went over. And that match was no outside interference. That was a flat out good match, underrated. Like a lot of people, I watched that match and I was like, gosh, dang. Like there was a spot in that match, and a lot of people take care of themselves. A lot of people protect themselves. But if you look at like Taker, if you ever watch Taker get thrown into the metal steps, Taker hits the steps. Mick Foley hits the steps. There's no like they don't take it easy. They hit those things. Daniel Bryan whipped, like Bray Wyatt was throwing him in, and Daniel Bryan reversed it and threw Bray Wyatt into the steps. He hit those things so freaking hard on his legs, it flipped him over, and he did a perfect bump on his back. And I was like, that is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. He took those steps like a man. And then when he went over, like the way he worked that match with Daniel Bryan, and then when he even before the end, I was like, I think I'm a Bray Wyatt fan because he was such a good worker in that match. Like he was never blowing up, and he kept pace with Daniel. You know, Daniel Bryan's a good worker, and he kept move for move with him. And then when he went over, I was like, oh my gosh, I never looked at him the same after that. I was like, this guy is like, he's going to be a champ. You could just see it, dude. I was like, this guy's going to be a champ.
Right.
I mean,
I always
his
remember
wrestling alone, but his like we were talking about, his creativity, man. Like Daniel Bryan, and I remember when he had Randy Orton kind of come on board.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. They showed it in that clip too, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. Randy Orton was with him.
Some of the greatest memories that I have with Bray Wyatt is the feud that he and Bray had with you know, in the middle of the ring when he set Alexa Bliss on fire, or supposedly set her on fire. That was some good stuff.
Yeah. And you forget about that too. Like all the people that were part of the Wyatt family in some way, when you had the Wyatt family, and then when he was like the Fiend, and you had that, you know, the whole Firefly Funhouse, like Alexa Bliss was a huge part of that.
Yeah,
and I remember my wife was sharing something with me about Alexa Bliss and obviously how devastated she was and everything, and something she did on social media. And that's when it hit me. I was like, holy cow, she spent a ton of time with him.
Yeah.
A ton of time. She would come out and she looked like just some whacked out little doll because she's like 4'11" or whatever, you know, but it worked. Like what she became when she was with him, it was cool. Like it worked. It was really, really neat.
You know what I thought was pretty sweet on SmackDown was, I don't even know if he has a contract or whatnot, but Eric Rowan was there, and I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. I
That was really
just looked.
sweet.
Yeah, my wife said it before I could. She was like, "Poor Eric."
Yeah. The moment that, yeah.
You know, because you look at this Bray Wyatt, and it was like 2 years ago, Luke Harper, and
Yep.
he's the only one of the original Wyatt family
Yep.
that he's the only one that's left. So I was like, yeah. And I don't know, he was there. I was like, because I didn't expect to see him there.
And he had that moment with the chair. He went up that chair, and it was like, and I'm like,
Him and
oh
Braun.
yeah, him and Brown went up that chair. And I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
That's
it sucked. It just that. But
Yeah.
I will say this: WWE, if they're not good at anything else, they are very good at the tributes that they give to their
Absolutely.
fallen
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and Tony Khan was actually he's allowing them, not really allowing, but he doesn't have a problem with the wrestlers taking time to go to Wyatt services, and they're in AEW. You know, he's showing his respects.
Yeah. Well, they're you think about it, they're all family.
Yeah.
Really, in a sense, like they're you're like the boys, you know, and even the ladies. You're just one of the guys. Like you're all family in that locker room,
Mm-hmm.
in that dressing room. So, and you think about all the like Roman Reigns, you know, which I wanted to see that. I thought maybe that was in private. I thought it might have been televised. My wife and I kept trying to find it where he dedicated that belt to JoJo, and but that's obviously something he did in private. And then it leaked out. But those guys all came up together. You think about it, like all the guys in the Shield, and then you've got like you know for at least most of like the Wyatt family, they all came up through NXT together.
Yep.
So it's like sucky. It's sucky for them to see that, and that was like 24 hours, if that, after Terry Funk passed away. And Terry Funk, we haven't even touched on him yet. Like that dude did it for 50 years.
Yep, man.
50 years. Like, how many people do you know that could keep working like that and not suck? You know, like we know I remember the first time I ever saw him. I don't know how young I was. It was when WCW wasn't WCW yet. It was still NWA.
Yeah.
And he, in part of like the story, he attacked Ric Flair and he hit him with a pile driver. And it it jacked up his neck and all that stuff. And I was terrified of Terry Funk after that. And I was like, that pile driver will kill people. So I was like, I don't know how old I was. I was like 10 or whatever. I was like, he's going to pile drive someone and end their career. Like I was marketing, like I was so into it. And then, eventually when he came over to WWE, they gave him like he was Chainsaw Charlie. Even before, I don't know if it was before that or not, but him and Mick had those insane death matches, like just
crazy.
Exploding ring matches and all that stuff.
Baseball bat, barbed wire.
Dude, that guy went to ECW. ECW, I know because I was an ECW fan and I know how hostile we were. That dude was loved by the fans in ECW too. Like there'll never be another Terry Funk. There will never be another Terry Funk who could go and hang with any generation, like ever. He's one of a kind, man.
Absolutely.
One of a kind.
Yes.
Like I said, two greats gone right there, man. Definitely.
I know. Within 24 hours, I think, right? Like
within,
yeah.
And that was just like because the Terry Funk thing we're trying to sink in and watching all these things and video tributes and listening to people and reading stuff. And then I think it was Friday, my wife was the one who found out about Bray Wyatt. And she came out, told me, and I was like, what? I think I was in the swimming pool with our daughter. And I just couldn't believe what she was saying. I'm like, no. She was like, yeah, I was just dumbfounded. I was just dumbfounded in that moment. Like, I can't believe it. He's younger than me.
Yeah, Pop's actually the one. He messaged me and said, hey, did you hear about Bray? I was working. And I ended up working really late that night. So I didn't even know until I think it was like 10:30 or something later that night. I actually looked at it, found out what was going on.
Yeah.
But, and it's because the rumors are, I don't know how true they were, but, there was big possibility of him coming to the Judgment Day and kind of taking over.
That would fit. That would fit.
I don't know how true it was, but
anything dark like that, it would fit, and it would work. It would work. It would absolutely work.
Absolutely.
I thought he would actually. Well, I think Taker already went down to Brock when Bray Wyatt fought the Undertaker. I think he already had that loss. But I was thinking Bray Wyatt could have been, because his character, you know what I mean? Like, he built that character up.
Yeah.
And then you have Taker's gimmick. And it was just, but, you know, he went down to Taker, and I was like, that's cool. But I actually thought that maybe he would be the guy to end the streak. Nothing against Brock doing it. I just thought Bray might do it. He was just.
No.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about Taker, and one thing I was curious about. Remember when Taker was in the ring and it was almost like a passing of the torch, and Taker whispered something into Bray's ear. And the sad part of it is, I guarantee you, it was pretty prominent, pretty defiant what he said to him, and we'll never know.
Because Bray said he'll take that to his grave. That's between him, Taker.
And Taker won't. Taker, you can't get anything. Even though he's doing interviews now, I doubt he'll say what it is.
No, probably not.
Because that was between those two. So yeah, we'll never know. And that's what I was saying to my wife too when we're watching. I'm like, I've always wondered what he said to him.
Yeah.
I always wondered what he walked by and said, because his gimmick was kind of like that new, like, not Dead Man, but like that. You know what I mean? Like that new dark, you know, where you get like these dark powers and all that stuff. I don't care, man. I was freaking buying into that stuff all the time. Like, sometimes Alexa Bliss would do something, I'm like, okay.
Right.
Like when she had her match and like this was happening and the lightning was coming out, and I was like, I love Alexa Bliss, but I was like, that's something weird. But she was just getting into that character. His had been built up for so long. So whenever he did something, I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, because it was like
so real.
Taker had to earn that, like, you remember, controlled his power, and Bray had Sister Abigail.
Yep.
Right. So, do you guys think they'll move along quicker now, or do you think they'll just drop it? Finally, who was Uncle Howdy? Do you think we'll see a tribute, or at least represent?
I think they'll run with
Wasn't it Bo?
It was Bo.
But, do you think we're going to go with it? Or do you think that's going to be dropped?
No, I think they'll go with it because they want to finish it, you know, especially in Bray's honor. You know, that's something that he wanted to go with, and absolutely. I think they will.
Hey, Rick, you got some comments in the chat.
Oh, I didn't even look there.
Come on, man.
Oh my goodness.
So, but yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Tony from AIT saying, "What's up?
What's up, Tony?
What's up, Tony Baloney?"
Oh, that's Papa Bear, our dad, saying, "Hey
Papa
guys."
George.
What's up, Dad?
Yaz saying, "What's up?"
Yazzie, what's cracking? I don't know if they'll finish that. I honestly, I don't know, just because that's weird. I don't know for sure, but I think that it was his brother, and I thought that was going to be something really cool.
Not to interrupt, but Yaz, this is what Yazzie asked. Who do you think will be the next Bray Wyatt?
Nobody.
There won't be one.
No.
There won't be one. I think
it would be disrespectful to him, I think, if there would be another one.
Well, somebody like that. I don't know. The way he would build.
Say, if you continue with the Uncle Howdy, it's not going to be the same as Bray, but I think Bo would do a pretty decent job of trying to carry on that legacy.
I think they need to carry on the story for sure. And I
mean, I don't know how you carry it on.
I don't know.
And then actually too, like, do you think Bo Dallas? Assuming he is, I think that he is. You know, Uncle
everybody's
Howdy.
Pretty sure it was.
Yeah, then you're asking him to carry that on after his brother passed away too. So I think just looking at that'd be tough. They might just scrap it.
That's possible too. I mean,
but Bo, if it is him, that really stinks, because he went through remember that last thing he was there, they were like the B team.
Yeah.
And I kind of got a kick out of him and Curtis Axel as the B team. I'm not going to lie, but they were like a tag team and they were supposed to be these singles guys. Like Curtis Axel was Paul Heyman's next dude, and then not even that could get him over. And that's like Kurt Hennig's son. So this was something Bo Dallas could have really used. So I don't know.
Right.
We'll just have to wait and see, man.
Yeah.
So
next Bray Wyatt.
Let's carry on with the Raw talk here because we can talk about Bray all night long, man.
Yes, we could.
We really can. What did you guys think about the Miz coming out as LA Knight? Oh, come on, man. Yeah.
Boy, he's gonna get his ass whooped
that was
Payback. I'm just gonna say that right now.
May probably, but it's worth it. That was hilarious. Like
I just
that was good stuff, man.
Yeah, I really think people like I see people looking at Miz as like he's underrated. He's not underrated, man.
No.
That guy is awesome on the mic. He does a good job in the ring, very good job in the ring, and he helps put people over.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not worried about getting the championships, and he's just he does there and he does his job. And that's one thing Vince always said. Miz is one of the guys who never complains, shows up, does what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
That was hysterical. That moment was like, oh yeah, and you're right, Reek. He does it. He puts over people, and hell yeah. LA Knight, he's over, but this is good. This match with the Miz at Payback, it's going to put him way over because they're going to be genius. It's going to be a genius match in that ring when they get together. I mean, and note that that's not he is so good at what he does. You could tell it was off the cusp. There was no notes. There was no rehearsal. He just came down, and he's that damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, he's just amazing. I hate the guy. I couldn't stand him when he was in the real world.
Then he's doing his job.
The real world,
He's doing his job. He's
right. And I'm like,
him.
He's annoying as all get out, but I'm like, you're good.
That's where I became a fan when he was on the Real World because I hated that show, and then I watched it. I had an ex who thought it was like the greatest show on TV, and I remember I sat and I watched it with her, and I'm like, "Who's this guy? He likes wrestling. I like him," and he would act like he'd act kind of like The Rock or whatever on there, and then I just got into his character, and then he was on Tough Enough. It was crazy. Think how long ago that was.
Yeah.
How long ago that was that Tough Enough season was. This guy is still on the roster.
That's when I became a fan of his, was Tough Enough. Because I said, you got somebody who was on this reality show who's busting his butt. He loves the business. He's been a huge fan since day one.
Yep.
And he's got the heart for it. And he just kept going and going.
Yep.
And look how, the stories of how they tortured him when he first started, man.
Well, yeah. He couldn't he couldn't be in the locker room and all that stuff. He dealt with all of that, but you persevere. You got to show that you can take it. And you got to show how, see, he's like, it's rare to get somebody that's a fan, like just an absolute, I love this business as a fan and I'm willing to give my all. He's like the male version of Bailey. Bailey grew up obsessed with the business. And when you're obsessed and you love the business, you won't crap on it. Right. You will not crap on the business. You will treat the business with respect. Yep. You will honor those age-old, like those things that people take for granted nowadays. Hey, don't do this spot. We're doing this one in the last match. Don't bust the table. Don't all that stuff. Kind of like what they were talking about with CM Punk or whatever. And we're like, is that real? Like. That's those people who grew up respect. Like they're going to absolutely respect the business, and that's what he's like. Yep. He respects the business. Like I said, Bailey. I look at her and I'm like, I'm happy for her to make it where she is. Miz he's great. Yeah, he'll probably lose.
So sorry guys, I got to correct myself. That's Lena. She's on Yazi's YouTube, so she was the one commenting. Sorry about that.
Oh, we shouldn't have answered that question then.
No, revoke that answer.
We revoked that answer. We thought it was for Yazzie.
She's gonna come and beat both of you down.
Well, if she comes and beats me down, she'll be able to see her grandbaby. So that's good, right?
Yeah, that'd be worth it.
I don't have leverage like that. I don't have that protection.
But I do. You're right. Comparing the Miz to Bailey, Bailey will do anything she's asked to when she comes to the arena. Hey, I got this. Do this. Sure, no problem. Because they don't need the titles. They don't need that. They're so far back. They're so far into their career that it's just like I'll do whatever it takes, you know. And that's what I love about that. And since we're on the Miz and the LA Knight thing, I loved what LA Knight did at the end of SmackDown with Bray Wyatt, and he was talking to the Miz.
Oh yeah,
did you guys catch that where he leaned into the microphone or camera and said, "A wise man once
said, yup.
Once told me if you come at me again, you better." And he went,
run.
It was just,
I love that he did that. That
was sweet. That was sweet, and I knew it was coming. I almost said it too, but I was like, "No, my wife will slap me." So I'm gonna let it be a surprise. But yeah, it just the wise man once said, "You come at me, or the next time you see me, run.
You better run."
Yeah, that was a classic thing he always said too.
Yep.
But yeah, that was good. LA Knight is kind of. I know he gets. I don't know why, because it's just his gimmick. It's a lot of times, especially nowadays, it's with people, it's your personality just with the volume turned up. And it's probably who he is, but people are like, oh, he acts like The Rock and he acts like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, maybe that's just who he is, you know, with the volume turned up. Like, and I don't really see it, like with his walk and everything and all that stuff, like a little bit, but come on.
I think it's because when you look at LA Knight, you see attitude error. Like that's what I see when I see him. He brings back that attitude error kind of character.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope, no, not at all.
He walks in that arena with a chip on his shoulder, you know. And again, it's horrible to compare him to, like you said, Stone Cold or the Rock. It just his attitude is just, it could be the same. He might have, you grow up watching who you like, and of course, I mean, my attitude towards my wife sometimes, you're like, ugh, you know what? So he's just being himself, I think.
Yeah, and realistically too, he was given he was stupid when he came up to the main roster. I'm like, what are you doing to him? And so this could be some of that where remember Stone Cold was the ringmaster, you know, and he had that thing and he was trying to make it work and all that stuff with the $1 million title. And he did what he could before he was Stone Cold. And then he just took that attitude and, you know, maybe some of that was just him. It was him letting his personality come out, and that's why it worked.
Because he was so pepped up with aggression, he just said, I just let myself go. That was just me.
I think that LA Knight just letting himself go. He's like, man, I'm going to be me. And
that's what Lena says, right? LA Knight is a natural. I think his character is actually him, and that's why it works.
There you go.
And Lena, man, you need to come on the show.
I know.
I've invited her. I said she can come up anytime.
There you go.
There you go.
She knows what she's talking about.
She can't stand Bailey. She does not like Bailey. She loves Charlotte.
Yeah,
no.
I completely respect Charlotte. Bailey again. See, Huge Pop was making reference to this too. Like she could be a champ. She doesn't need it, and she does what she's asked to do. She comes out, she does her job, and she's so overly she's so over the top. Just the stuff that she does, it's like when she tries to in that ladder match, and she tried to screw Dakota Kai out of the match, you know, and she's like, "Oh, it wasn't me," you know, and just she's so she's great to watch. She's entertaining. It's believable, and at the same time, you're like, Bailey, you're just a piece of garbage.
Right.
I just get a kick out of her.
Charlotte is the queen.
Jeez, oh, Peach. Please. Come on. No.
Yep.
That's huge Pop's favorite wrestler right there.
Yeah,
of all
that's
time.
his top-notch
Charlotte.
right
Next
there.
to Bianca Belair, hell yeah. Can't stand those two. Please get off my freaking TV.
Oh, Bianca Belair. You don't like Bianca Belair? I think
What's wrong with Bianca?
I liked her when she won the belt the first time. I had all mad respect for that. Now, and again, it's when I say I don't like somebody, I have a feeling I don't like where what creativity's doing with them. I guess I'll say that. Let's clear that up.
yeah, it's like people who didn't like. I'm tired of seeing Cena.
Right.
The same old gimmick. I got you.
So Charlotte Flair, I have nothing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that she's a horrible wrestler because she's not. She's phenomenal. I love the best angle. I loved it when she turned on her father. I love that. That was amazing storyline. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I just get so irritated with the guys in back that's writing this stuff. Okay, so you can't put Bayley over. You bring her out at SummerSlam or WrestleMania and with the damage control, and then you go bleh, puke on her and she does nothing, right? Until now. Charlotte Flair. It's not that I hate her. It's just I don't like the story, the booking.
This is for you.
She shoved. What does that say?
Oh no, here it is right here. This is what I wanted to put up. She's the bestest.
Ooh.
Disagree.
She's just being shoved like in your face too much. I get what you're saying. And you have all that talent, like what about Sasha Banks, who has all the talent in the world, and she would win a belt, hold it for 2 minutes, and then she would drop it.
Right.
And a lot of times it was like Charlotte always has to. I get it. When she would come out with that, I'm genetically superior and all that stuff. And then when you see her in the ring, you're like, wow, she is kind of bigger and she's built a little different stuff. And she almost backs that up. Like, holy crap. And then you see the moves that she does. I get that. I absolutely do. But then they have other talent like, Trinity. She's absurdly talented, but not utilized. I just felt like she was underutilized big time.
Oh, hey, look who decided to pop back up.
I mean, Paige when she was in the WWE.
What's going on, Bryson?
He's almost a forgotten thing. Now she's in AEW. She just won the championship. Thank God.
That was awesome. I don't know if you guys got to watch that, but I thought that was just great, man. Her family sitting there. Soraya just got to get that belt back.
Absolutely. And I'm like,
Paige?
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah. She's in AEW.
She just won the AEW Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's not that I hate Charlotte. I just don't like some of the storylines that they put her in.
I'm so over Charlotte. She's like
thank you.
She's like I mean, which Roman's character right now is great, I think, but he's just like, it's so much like it's continuously just shoved down our throat, like put like here, Charlotte, like no, like why do you think Sasha Banks left? Like
it's yes, exactly. It's almost like WWE needs to fill in something, so let's put Charlotte in your face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And she has to carry the belt. And we could go on about that where they made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason for her to end the streak when Asuka was red hot before, and they met at she won the Rumble, and they met at WrestleMania. It was like, why? Asuka is so like that would have been huge, but nope. Charlotte had to go over.
Right.
So yeah.
I tell you,
I'm not saying I totally agree with you, Huge Pop. I'm not saying I totally agree with you. I'm just saying I understand where you're coming from.
No problem. You don't need to agree with me. But yeah, no.
Bryson and Huge Pop. Lena said this is for you.
Oh.
Woo!
Lena, I could go all night long about Charlotte Flair, and why?
She borrowed that from her dad, so.
Well, don't get me started on her dad because I think he was a complete and utter. Never mind. Forget it.
We'll move on to the next one. Or Bryce, what were you going to say, man?
I said, here's a hot take. Ric Flair is not on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Thank you.
No.
And he ruined it, and he even ruined my opinion of that man of his last match. Never. Why? Why did you go out there and look like an idiot? No,
He shouldn't have done that.
I will agree with that. Yes, that last match that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, he should
Too
have.
much.
But wow, Ric Flair's not on your Mount Rushmore,
No.
like at all.
No, he's number 5.
way.
He's number 5.
He's number 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's close.
so he's top 5. He's close to Mount Rushmore.
Mine's Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Stone Cold, and The Undertaker.
That was for you, Huge Pop.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess you too, Bryson. Because
Yeah,
you
that's
guys,
for me.
you're the big Charlotte fans. Who was your first one you said on your list?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, so Shawn Michaels was the top one?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, no, in no really order. Like Shawn Michaels, Cena, Stone Cold, and probably The Rock. Or Taker. One of the.
I'm way off. I'm way off. Holy crap.
Michaels is my top. Like he's always my top.
Yeah, Michaels is way up here. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
just-
everyone else, man.
He's in ring. He was just on a different level than everybody, in my opinion.
Yep, he's top.
So Huge Pop, what's yours? You said yours is way different.
Yeah, my number one of all time is Sting.
Oh,
God.
He does everything, anything, and he is amazing. Hulk Hogan will be on that list. I love him
For what he did, yeah.
He revised wrestling, in my opinion.
He did.
Yeah.
I got mad. I got Bryson mad, but
he said, "I'm out of here."
As soon as you said Sting, he was like, "I'm out."
Sting, Hogan. I'll catch. I'm gonna catch heat. Punk is gonna be on my top. My Mount Rushmore.
Ooh, Punk.
I won't give you any heat over that.
And I guess my fourth one. Let me see. I would say probably I would go ahead and agree with you, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn Michaels, and then Triple H, of course, because without Triple H and Shawn Michaels,
yeah.
No.
See, Triple H was close to when he was at his peak, when he was like the ultimate heel. I was like, gosh, this guy could become my favorite wrestler of all time. He was such a good heel.
Yeah.
So he's definitely up there. It'd be hard for me to rank mine. Oh my gosh. Michaels would be one. I think I'd have Hunter. Oh gosh. See, I don't know.
Yeah,
It gets hard because I don't want to leave any names off that list.
Right.
Like Scott Hall comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because he was amazing at everything he did.
Mhm.
Even going back watching him in the old territory days, like the guy could just work.
Right.
He was good on the mic. He was just I always loved Scott Hall. Would always mark out for him. I don't know. And I'm not even going to say number 4 because I might have Cena up there too.
I mean, you can't forget.
But you leave names off. I mean, you would, you know what I mean? But it's hard not to put like Cena up there, who was, he was good at everything he did. He was good for a long time. And I just loved watching him end people's careers on the microphone. It was the greatest thing. It brought joy to my heart, and I miss seeing it.
Right. I mean, you can't forget about Raven. I mean, that guy was brilliant.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
I mean, so why I couldn't do a Mount Rushmore and do it justice.
I know. It's too
it's hard to think about because like me, one of my top favorites is Macho Man. And
there you go.
Lena said in the comments too. I would not leave Macho Man out of there.
No.
You talk about great on the mic and a very good worker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jake the Snake.
And Bret the Hitman was not very good on the mic, but
Bret Hart
in ring.
Oh,
just
Orton.
I
freaking Orton. That's
there you go.
Orton.
So yeah, there'd be no way. I don't have. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's hard.
But
And
my
people
number
always-
one, Bryson. My number one is still Sting. So
Yeah. Which AEW, I think if WWE would use Sting like AEW is, Sting would still be in AEW.
yes.
But no, they had to put him in the ring with Rollins, and Rollins injured him, like almost paralyzed him.
Mhm.
Which Rollins is, but like
It was-
the story on Rollins not like now is apparently his back is broken like 2 or 3 different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be surprising to me if he drops the title Saturday.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
We'll get to that in a minute, man.
Yeah.
That's coming up. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. That's a big maybe right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He killed himself.
let's go on with the. What you guys think about? What was it? The tag team with the New Day and the Viking Raiders, and you got Riddle and Drew McIntyre sitting outside. What's going on? They're trying to put Drew in a tag team with Riddle. Yeah, thank you, Bryson.
That's an
I
odd
just-
team.
Exactly. Drew can handle things by himself. So
I
can Riddle.
know.
You don't
If-
need them in a tag team together.
Drew,
The only time that ever made sense, and all the time he's been there, and I'm not, you think I'm going to say 3MB, you're wrong. The only time that ever made sense for Drew McIntyre to be on a tag team was when he was with Sheamus, because those two complemented one another. It just
Yes.
made sense. Like, that was the team that made sense. Him and Riddle, no.
No.
They were at rings. I'm like, why? I don't like to see them together. It just bothers me.
And Lena says it too. She says they need to push Drew. They are not utilizing him correctly.
I tell you what they need to do with Drew. They need to stop trying to make him a good guy. He is the perfect bad guy. He is. He's a great heel.
He could
He
be,
is.
yeah. They really.
Well, the problem is he was a heel when he got over. So it was like, and so what they did was that's what happened. Too many people were cheering for him, and they're like, well, we got to turn this guy to babyface because he was so. Remember, he was a heel when he eliminated Brock, and the crowd freaking went nuts, and he won that Royal Rumble, and it's never been. I don't think he's ever been booed since. Like he entered that as a heel. Like Drew was a heel entering that Rumble match, but people were like, "Ooh, he could give Brock something." So you're thinking that in your head, and then when he eliminated that pop was insane. That was
crazy,
insane.
man.
Yeah, and then I don't think he's ever been booed since.
No.
Just
They need to take Riddle and send him somewhere north or south of wherever they're going to be filming. Get the hell out of my TV. Send him back. I don't give a shit. Send him somewhere. Because
oh my God.
never, ever, ever do you need to be up there with Drew McIntyre, first of all. Second of all, if they're not careful, everybody says that Tony Khan is a crackhead playing with his action
G.I.
figures.
Joe's there. That's
whatever. But who the heck is writing this last night? This stuff with Riddle and McIntyre. I agree totally.
I
God,
don't know.
make me sick.
Like the best part of but going back to the tag team, the Viking Raiders, they just bore me. Like I don't think they're. Which Ivar, I'll give him credit to be that big. He's extremely athletic, and the stuff he does in the ring is I wish I could do that. But other than that, they're not great on the mic. They're not like charismatic by any means. They need it. They need like a Paul Heyman type. They need a manager to speak for them, just come in and just
exactly
really wreck everybody and then just go.
Well, they got Valhalla.
Oh
well,
God!
she needs to be more interactive instead of just sitting there going, ah. She's got to be more interactive, man.
I still remember her when she was Sarah Logan, like with the what was that group called? Riot Squad. Right?
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Riot Squad. She is
useless. Lena, that was part of the smartest thing you said tonight. She's useless.
she is useless. We'll put it up there. Yep, she is useless.
I'll forgive you your takes on Charlotte Flair. I'll forgive you on those takes. But yes, you're right. She is useless.
No, and another thing we've already let's go ahead and talk about it right now, so I don't forget. Because Lena says the same thing. Nakamura is awesome, and another one not being used.
Yes.
And so that's why let's go to Payback. Do we think there's a possibility, Bryson? We were talking about that of him beating Seth.
I mean, I do, because I've read a lot of things where Seth is supposedly like, I mean, he's like legit injured, and so he's supposed to take like a lengthy time off to recover. But which at the same time, I don't think Rollins doesn't need the title to be relevant, because he's that good, and so and he can go back and forth. He can go being the face to heel, but Nakamura, I've said this since he's entered WWE, he needs a manager. He does not need to talk. It is, my ears bleed when he tries to speak on the microphone. It's awful. It's terrible. He needs a manager to talk.
I'll say and I agree with that pretty much, actually entirely, except I will say this. Now I know it was a video, but the promo that that video that they show, that montage where he cut his, well, actually it wasn't, I don't even think it wasn't a montage. It was just a video of him cutting a promo on set. That was good. That was actually good. That was the first time I ever heard him cut a good, believable promo, was when it was video edited. But I mean, he's got talent and everything. It's just, he could use a little something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think, I'm going to say one thing and then I'll let you guys go. Where I think where they messed up with Nakamura, killed his momentum when he won the Rumble and lost at Mania to AJ. They should have gave him the title right there, even if it was for a month, 2 months. He had all that momentum build up, and then you just pull the rug.
Yep.
Exactly.
Give him the title right there, and then after turn him heel after he has the belt, but to turn him heel right there and not give him the belt, that was kind of stupid in my opinion.
And we agree. Yep, because they did that same thing to him that they did to Asuka, and Asuka had no reason to lose. She was red hot. That was stupid. There was no. I was like, why? So they did it to. I think it was the same WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Did it to Karrion Kross.
Yes,
too,
it was.
Yeah, they did it to both of them, and it made no sense.
No.
Like they were both red hot. So Shinsuke, oh my gosh, he had that amazing entrance. I can't remember the name of the guitar player, but she was, she was playing like the live guitar and stuff. Oh my! I was like, dude, he's going over, man. Like this was huge, and he didn't.
As soon as I saw the entrance, like, Nakamura's winning. He's winning.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like that still was one of the best Mania entrances I've seen. Like that was awesome. But
did you notice after that, Ezra, he kind of just started going down. Like you really didn't see Shinsuke anymore.
No.
Yeah.
He's just a little mid-carder after that. Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's just, and maybe he could use somebody to do the talking for him. Like a mouth, and then he does the work in the ring,
Yeah.
So you're probably right, Bryson. If he had a good manager that could do that talking for him,
Yeah. I tell you, go ahead, Rico. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, man.
But he did have a good mouthpiece, but it was, I don't know if y'all remember when him and Sami Zayn were together. They were both heels, but Sami's too good just to be a manager. I think he didn't need to. He needs like a Paul Heyman guy, just literally just come over here, build him up, and okay, Nakamura, go beat everybody. But I mean, he's obviously not going to be as dominant or as good as Reigns by no means. But he could use somebody.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He needs a Paul Heyman. He needs something like a Paul Heyman.
You know who he needs? I got the best manager for him. Pat McAfee. He loves the man.
Oh,
bring Pat McAfee in.
That would be nice.
He gets on the desk.
Yes,
and dances every time he comes out.
Yes.
Oh, huge pop. You need to write for them, man, because that would be gold. That would be gold.
He needs to show up at Payback, and he needs to be, somehow interfere with that match with Seth Rollins, and
wow,
that'd be excellent.
Because Pat's great on the mic too.
Oh yeah,
he was a really good heel. Surprisingly, McAfee was a really good heel in
NXT.
So
that's an amazing idea. You need to write them.
Let's
Tell
go.
them, get
Send
the
that in,
strap.
man. Go ahead,
Get
send
it
that
in there.
buddy.
Let's go. that is an amazing idea, and they would work. They would work very well together.
Yep.
Mhm.
I didn't even think of when you said that. I'm like, yeah, he gets on the desk and dances every time. Michael Cole used to be like, will you sit down?
Yeah.
He is.
Here we go again.
I think Pat McAfee is Shinsuke's biggest fan, man, to be honest.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, for
he
sure.
marks out every time he comes down, man.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, that would be
That's
amazing.
that's your huge pop take of the night, guys.
I like it.
Good
I
one.
like it.
So I was gonna say we'll talk a little Raw and Payback, kind of mix it up because we ain't got that much time left. But what are you guys taking on the Rhea Ripley and Raquel match? Because I don't see a Rhea losing. I
Yeah,
really
Mommy's always on top.
don't. There you go,
Mommy
man.
is mommy.
She
No,
is.
Oh,
ain't
it's
losing-
funny.
she ain't losing that thing. Hell no.
No.
There's nobody. That's not even. Wouldn't even make sense.
No,
No.
it's her level. She's at
No.
the level that she's at right now.
But once again, we just got done talking about it. It's WWE, so you never know.
Sure.
Dude,
Yeah,
if they-
but it's a ratings thing too, right? It's a rate like
Yeah.
like Roman could have dropped the belt to Cody, and everybody thought he was going to drop the belt to Cody, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Roman's still a draw. Cody, they're just the way they're doing it is smart because Cody is still unbelievably over, and he's just more of a
No.
draw.
He's,
So-
he's the most over face right now.
Yeah, so
It's
it
not-
worked. It actually
Yeah.
what they did worked. So Raquel probably not yet, but she's going to get there. She's going to get there. But yeah, Rhea Ripley is just she's money. She's money. Like you
Yes.
don't from a business perspective, you don't do what doesn't make good business sense. And it would make sense to take that belt off her and put it on Raquel, who is likable. She's very likable, but she's just not at that level. You know,
Yeah.
The only time I see Rhea losing that belt is if she loses it at WrestleMania to the man. That's the only time I see her losing it.
yeah.
it would have to be somebody like that. It would have to be somebody who's a draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it would have to be a big name. Again, nothing against Raquel, but she's not at that level.
Anybody but Charlotte Flair. So.
Yeah,
I was going to say Charlotte Flair's the only one I see that could take the
No.
the only
No.
one.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, but like the women's roster for WWE, it's not as strong as it's been, and a lot. Like I think, in my opinion, you really have four big names. It's five: Ripley, Charlotte, Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch. Outside of those five, you really don't have any big time names.
Yeah.
In my
I
opinion.
mean, facts right there. That's facts.
You got
Yeah.
Bailey. You got Bailey. She's underutilized.
Bailey's underutilized. I love Bailey. Yeah, I love Bailey.
And Io Sky. I love Io Sky.
Oh,
yeah.
she's amazing.
She's
She's amazing. So and there's someone she's someone they're trying to push the right way.
Mhm.
yes.
They've got good young talent too. Again, like Raquel, they need time.
Yeah.
You know, they need time to develop.
Like
Hey,
Zoe
maybe-
Stark.
She's another one that just needs time.
Mhm.
And Trish is just there right now. Trish is a legend.
Trish
Like
sells
she's not.
tickets, man. Trish
She sells tickets.
No.
That's just it. She's a name. She sells tickets. She's not bad. Like I can still listen to her cut a heel promo, and I'm like, okay, Trish, that's good. That was good. And I'm shocked that she, other than watching her in what the heck was that? Was it Extreme Rules or whatever they had that? No, it was TLC. Wherever she was in that ladder match, just her spots were off.
Yeah.
That was the only time. But other than that, all of her work has been pretty crisp. Has been pretty good since she came back.
Lita does not need to come back. Lita does not. No, she
No,
was.
I've noticed that she's really lost, and she's older. You know, with
Yeah.
age, it's going to happen. You know, but she
Yeah.
was phenomenal. But now she's lost her step.
You got to know when to stop. I mean, that's the thing. Is like we were talking about Ric Flair having that match. Like, why did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lita's, and again, Lita took risks that no female wrestlers were taking
no
back
other female
then.
we're doing.
She was in there with the Hardy Boys doing just insane spots. I was like, she's out of her mind. I saw her live do like some crazy moonsault to the outside that hit. She was supposed to hit somebody. Nobody, like, they moved and she hit the floor. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? There are guys that wouldn't do that.
No.
She just threw all caution to the wind, and she didn't even do like a little backwards when she went up and down. So yeah, she's tore her body up. She has destroyed her body. It's evident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they could get, who knows? I mean, I haven't heard anything from Trinity or Sasha Banks.
Mercedes
Sasha was
Moné
All
is
In.
in talks with AEW.
Sasha was at All In.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sasha
she
was
was
at
at
All
All
In.
In.
Yeah, front row.
Breaks my heart too.
It's Mercedes Moné now.
Well, it's her real
Breaks my
name,
heart.
Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, she's in talks with AEW. At least that's what I've heard. She was at
Right.
All In, and she's been in
But I
talks
fi-
with them.
I figured with Triple H in charge that she would just like she would already be back. But I guess
Yeah, that's what I thought.
some has had to happen, like with
Yeah,
some
because it was before he was in charge. That's when she left. That's when they walked out.
Yeah.
Her and Naomi, I keep saying Trinity, but Naomi, they walked out, and they're like, screw this, because creative was just like off the wall. Like, I didn't even know half the stuff they were doing. Like, you'd watch, like, what are they thinking about?
Yeah.
But that's where people were, because Bray Wyatt was gone too. And then when Triple H took over, they're like, oh, is he going to be able to bring some people back? And he brought back I can't talk. Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Eventually Bray Wyatt also. So I thought it was a matter of time before, at least Sasha Banks would come back, and because she was one of the ones he believed, like, if you look at the ones from the NXT roster, especially like the ladies, you had like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and he was the one who like believed in them and he pushed them. And those NXT was a whole different show back then.
Yep.
A whole different show.
But Nikki D, would you agree though? You can be a Triple H, you can bring him back, and if you can bring him into the business or to WWE again. But if you don't have creative writers to write the shit, it's worthless. I mean, look at Karrion.
It's pointless.
Yeah, but is he the one who has to approve this stuff, or does it go through Vince again?
I don't know, because you mentioned Karrion Kross. One of my biggest frustrations about WWE at the moment is a guy like Karrion Kross, who was gold in NXT, and then something happened with Vince, and then he was gone, and he got brought back by Tripp. And since he's been brought back by Tripp, they've done nothing with him, and he's that guy is a great talent.
That's when he first came back. Remember, Scarlett put the hourglass in front of Roman.
Absolutely.
And he looked at him and said, tick tock.
And then it dropped.
Nothing's ever happened.
No.
I wonder if that's when he sold the company, when they had that merger or whatever, because then Vince was like out, but then he was back in, and maybe he started getting his hands back into the meddling and stuff. Because we as fans, we can tell the difference between a Triple H idea and a Vince McMahon idea. And it's nothing against what Vince McMahon has done. He's the one who built the empire. But some of his ideas now are just goofy because where Triple H is thinking like he's innovative.
Yeah.
So
and like in tag team wrestling, what they need to do, they just need to stop whatever they're doing and put DIY back together.
It's actually happening.
It is
actually happening.
Okay.
Yes, that is happening.
Okay, good.
I've been seeing the rumors about it. That's coming up probably after Payback. That should be coming up. Gargano and Ciampa putting them back together.
Yeah.
That's why you haven't seen Ciampa really do too much in singles, because they're waiting for Gargano to heal up and he's ready to come back.
I forgot he was hurt. I forgot he was. Yeah.
So now they're going to go ahead and pull that trigger.
That would be sweet. That would be sweet. I wish with Triple H in charge too. Well, we're assuming. I don't know how much he calls the shot, but it breaks my heart to see Adam Cole in AEW, and he never went to the main roster. And I think that was because Triple H. And I told you guys before, I think that's because Triple H kept him safe. He kept him on NXT. He's like, no, man, I'm not going to let you go up there. Where they're going to do something stupid and give you some dumb, like Karrion Kross. We were talking about him. He went up there his first match, like dude was undefeated in NXT. Then he jobbed out to Jeff Hardy. Why?
Right. Hardy. It should have been the other way around. Hardy has done his time. He's won every title you could think.
Put over Karrion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now Hardy's acting like a dumbass in AEW, so doing stupid spots like not necessary.
Yeah, all I gotta say, if you guys did not watch that Adam Cole and MJF match, you must watch it.
It's a top 5 match of the year, if not top 1.
Yes, it's good.
That was a good match, man. That was a good match right there.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
I loved it because first of all, the wrestling was just beautiful, but they kept the storyline going in the match.
Yeah.
Like it just everything just played so well together.
Yep.
If it's I ask my buddies this like that I watch wrestling with all the time, and now I think he is, but all time is MJF a top 5 heel when he's a heel.
Hell yeah,
like ever. I said like he has to be
in the top 5.
Yeah, like heel, just like straight heel, which I think is a face now. I mean,
yeah, because he's such a good heel. He was such a good heel. He was over. But if you think about throughout history, the really, really good heels, the ones who were like good enough to draw serious heat, death threats, start riots. There was a time Jericho was a heel like that. That's when I became a fan of his. Nobody liked Jericho, but I did. Amazing heel. We already talked about Triple H, who was just an unbelievably good heel, just a slimy good heel. MJF, he has to be up there. MJF has to be up there. He would easily be top 5 to me.
Yeah, Randy Orton is, I think, one of the best heels ever.
Randy Orton is great
easily
all around.
Easily, he would be up there. And one guy, he wasn't always heel, but I was going to say, like, Roddy Piper was just amazing heel.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was a face too, but that guy was so like he was like you never knew what he was going to say.
Yeah.
You could go on and on with heels. I don't think Ted DiBiase was ever a face.
That's what I was just about to say. He was
I think he was always a heel.
Probably one of my favorite heels.
Always a heel. And he was great at it. He was great at it. Just, yeah. I put MJF up there, though. I honestly, I would, out of all the years I've watched wrestling, because he does it within the business, and then he will kind of, in a sense, transcend it a little bit. Like when he calls the fans, or like the girl sitting by the ring, when he calls them ring rats. And since I spent time in the business, I'm like, oh, that is so like, do you know what that means? Like, my gosh, he doesn't care, and he's just believable in that, and that's what you have to do. Like, it's kind of like kayfabe. Even though people don't kayfabe anymore, he kayfabes. Like he's fantastic. He's great.
He pisses me off. My brother tells me if he pisses you off, he's doing his job. So
that's what
exactly.
That's what I said about the Miz. You hate him. Well, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, he's great.
And I tell you who I like. I can't stand, but he's good. So I have to watch him. Was Baron Corbin. I don't like he's not like, He's not like he's
I'm down, guys.
Oh, huge Bob, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Huge Bob, hold on. He is good at his job.
Yes,
I hated Baron Corbin. Then I was like, why do I hate him so much? Oh, because he's a good heel.
Yeah.
He is a good heel.
He sucks.
He kind of doesn't, though. He kind of doesn't. You just you have to look at it. I'm sorry. I'm with Bryson on this one.
No,
I'm with-
because
like,
you got to watch
by
him in
no
the
means-
ring. He can wrestle, man. He really can.
And
wrestle.
again, I think as a lone wolf, amazing.
Perfect. There's no need to change that
And
gimmick.
is it that he sucks, or is it the writing that sucks?
I think it's the writers. I mean,
Because I love Baron Corbin as the lone wolf.
yes,
I hated Baron Corbin as the
King Corbin.
King Corbin, the
King Corbin, Happy Corbin.
Happy Corbin, the slob Corbin, the bum ass. Now I did like bum ass Corbin because
That
again,
was hilarious.
Pat McAfee, bum ass Corbin. You know, that was great. But no, and again, it's probably the writers that suck. It's not him that sucks. It's the writers that suck.
No,
Yeah.
I'd put him above Sting easily.
Fuck,
Ah.
shut up.
Oh God.
Shut up.
Now he's about to
Easily,
riot and leave.
easily, I'd put him above Sting.
No. No.
His ability to adapt. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Switching.
So,
How
like-
can you say, how
Go
can you
ahead.
say that? Because Sting adapted to what was going on with the NWO when he disappeared. He came down as a badass. No.
Yeah.
That was once. He changed. He's still that same character 300 years later.
He went from Surfer King. He went from Surfer King to NWO King. No, shut up, dude.
Oh,
No.
and all he did was change the black and white to red and black. No,
All right.
Baron Corbin is
Oh,
1,000
geez.
times better than him.
No way in heck, no, dude. You and I have to have conversations later because I can't. You can't even say that. How can you put that? How can you put bum ass Corbin on the same level as Sting? No. No.
Huge spot. You would love my buddy Randall. His favorite wrestler of all time is Sting, and his Wi-Fi at his house is literally Sting is the greatest. That's his. I'm like every time I go to his house, I'm like, dude, like it's 2023. Like let's evolve a little bit. Like Sting is good, but
Let's go with Carmelo Hayes, man. Because I like Carmelo a lot, man. I don't
he
know
is
if
that
you guys
dude.
watched him.
He is that dude.
He's all right. He's no Baron Corbin, but he's all right.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a reject button I have for Nikki D here, man.
Yeah, please get him off the damn show, please.
Oh, my.
Mute his
Sorry.
ass.
So
Do this.
okay,
Watch.
let's carry on. For Payback, we
No,
also
no,
have.
we can't hear him. I muted his ass.
So let's talk about Rey Mysterio going against Austin Theory.
This
I'm gonna get your guys' take before I even say a word on this.
Don't even get. Don't even
why
get me
have
started on that
payback?
crap.
Can I ask why we have payback? I've been looking at this card for the last 20 minutes. Why?
Why?
Might as well make Monday Night Raw payback. Because
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't understand why they're waiting to pull the. Why is LA Knight not the United States champion or fighting for a title? That
Because I
dude
think
is.
they're really trying to build them up, which you don't
Build
need.
them
He's
up,
already
bro.
built up.
Yeah.
Like there's a. I wish I could find it. If I can find it, Rico, I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook. There's a clip like 6 months apart when he first like ditched the Max Dupree gimmick, and he came out and his like the pop was like nothing, and then going into Money in the Bank, the pop when he came out, the pop he had was
Insane.
It's huge.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
and 6 months I don't understand that he's over. He's a face now. I think. I mean, he's acting, talking like a face,
Mhm.
which I guess they're like, wait. I guess it's your point, like you guys, Nikki and Rico's point is his that feud with the Miz, because I guess Miz is that guy now to put people over, which Miz is a great heel. So I mean, they'll work well together. So I guess after that, they'll probably put him in the title picture. But I just don't see the point in waiting.
You got it. Well, you have to ask yourself, which title are you referring to?
Probably the United States title.
Okay.
Has to be. Yeah.
No, well, because he's on Raw, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would go after the Intercontinental title.
Who, LA Knight? I thought he's on SmackDown.
Is he on SmackDown?
Yeah, I think LA Knight's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Oh,
he is.
okay. He
Oh,
just showed up. Never mind. That's
Raw.
right.
Yeah, he just came to Raw for that one.
Never mind. He is SmackDown.
Yeah.
Then that would be the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. I definitely see that.
I'm just going to be very irritated if they do not put a title, any title, I don't care what it is, around Karrion Kross soon.
Soon.
You better do something with them.
I mean,
Yeah, because that feud with AJ is probably the most boring feud ever.
Another
That was just-
underutilized guy is AJ Styles.
Oh,
Where the
AJ
hell-
Styles, yeah.
Where's he been? You guys they've been screwing around with his character that it's so dumb.
The
I mean,
OC
Well,
OC's stupid.
you talk about underutilized. What is Bobby Lashley doing as a corner man?
Oh, jeez.
Dude, he's one of the most talented guys there is, and now he's a corner man. Like,
He's the manager now.
I know,
But
I
think,
hate that.
I think that faction has like the potential to be like huge. Like
Does.
if the
It
like
will
if,
be when Bianca joins.
yeah if the bloodline was still a thing, could you imagine can you imagine the bloodline versus the new Hurt Business, like Bobby and Roman going after it, then the Usos and Street Profits going after it, you know, and like
They are stupid good together as a team, but
Yes.
individually, they are really good too. Like they are really good. The Street Prop and they had a match on, I don't remember what, if it was Raw. No, actually, this was a pay-per-view, and I don't remember when it was. They had a match against the Usos. It
Yes.
was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they are good. I hate seeing Bobby Lashley not involved. Like, I don't know. I think he's very, very good, and he's only going to be in the business for so long. So,
Well, have you guys noticed Bianca? Have you noticed how they've been kind of screwing her over? And you pay attention to her, she's getting screwed over. She's getting screwed over. Now she's starting to get an attitude. Just give it a little more time. She will be turning heel.
okay.
Wasn't she a heel in NXT for a little bit though, if I'm not mistaken?
I think you're right.
Actually, she was. Yeah, she was.
Yep.
And she kind of just got over and just been a face ever since.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And she would fit. She would fit. And that's probably just to do something different, something fresh, because people are like, okay, you're twirling the hair, you're doing all this stuff, and you got to change. You got to do something. Unless you're Cena, you can do the same thing and it still works.
Yeah. But don't forget Cena. For a little bit, Cena when he was Dr. Thugonomics, he was heel a little bit, kind of heel, but then
it
didn't
was
work.
so over as a heel.
He was amazing. He was amazing. That's when I first became a fan of his.
Face.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was amazing. Right then and there, he topped Sting on my list. I was like, Cena's better than Sting, better than anything Sting has ever done right then and there.
Oh,
jeez.
I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh,
I love it. I love
sorry.
it.
So we'll get back to the show real quick, but because we only got a few minutes left here. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Becky Lynch against Trish, because she just had that match against Zoe on Monday Night Raw.
Becky.
Bryson, wake up.
Sorry. Did I miss the match? Hopefully. My thing. Why did it not end at SummerSlam? Why pull the match off of SummerSlam card? Like, I know it's probably not a big draw, but put that match on there, end it, and move. Like, let Becky go on somewhere. Becky's too good to be dealing with Trish and Zoe right now.
Agreed.
Mhm.
I think they kind of see something in Zoe, which she is good, and they kind of see something. Which now you have this Hall of Famer, and you have a future Hall of Famer kind of working with her.
You know what's going to happen? Zoe's going to turn on Trish.
I was thinking the same thing. Thank you.
Zoe's going to turn on Trish.
Same exact thing.
Think about that.
Because
maybe not turn on her, but cost her with a bump or something.
Okay.
I see that happening.
Yeah, because Trish, is she hanging around really after this, or
no?
Probably
She should be done.
well, she had like kind of a decent run since she's come back.
with Baron Corbin. Maybe they need to go on vacation.
Look what happened when Zoe threw the chair or Trish threw the chair in the ring, bops Zoe right in the head.
God, that was such a horrible botch. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well,
And that's why I was like, it's almost like you could start seeing like, okay,
Absolutely.
I think they're, and then Zoe hits Trish through the table,
mhm.
and you're like, oh, okay.
She's gonna turn on her own.
They are gonna, yeah, they'll split, and that's cool. That helps Zoe get some momentum.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That will
Yeah.
help.
But
Boost
yeah,
her up,
Becky-
move on.
Yeah, Becky's gonna win that. Becky will be moving on, doing her own thing.
God, I hope so. If I see another, like it's Becky versus Zoe, and then Becky versus Trish, and then Trish and Zoe versus Becky, I'm like, oh my God, get it over with, or give Becky
Yeah.
some help, or just,
Yeah.
like do something, like please.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
last match I want to bring up, it's not on Payback, but it's going to be on next week, Monday Night Raw. Gable versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
Thank you.
Dude, that match,
Shush.
Shush,
That-
please.
yeah, not his match that he
Shush,
just
we don't
had.
want to hear you talk.
What?
Go ahead, Nick.
What's that?
Shush.
Gunther's better than Sting?
I paid him back for you.
No, their match that they had, was it last week on Raw? Where Gable wrestled Gunther?
Yeah.
Was that Raw? That was like,
Yep.
like
That
2
was
weeks
Raw.
ago or whatever.
Are you talking
That
about the beat the clock challenge or whatever, 5 minutes or whatever? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, it wasn't I don't think it was a beat the clock. It was a regular match.
Okay.
Gunther
The
got counted
count
out.
And Gunther got
Yeah,
counted out.
yes. Okay.
That was a darn good match.
Mm-hmm.
That was like I was sitting there watching that like, this is really good. It was really good. And Gable worked his butt off. So that was a good match. And that I was like, oh
Gable's
my gosh.
Gable's right now, I'm like in WWE right now. I think he's a top in-ring top 3 wrestler. The guy
He
can do
was-
about anything.
Very
Hey, the
talented.
crowd was behind him too. Like they were like starting to believe, like, holy cow, man, he could get it done. And that's not easy because Gunther is very good at what he does.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good at what he does. So it was just a very good match to me. I was completely entertained by it. It was shockingly good. I'll just put it that way.
I would like to see Gable take that title, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
I would
because
like to see it.
If he wins, he becomes the longest reigning IC champion. So I think they're going to
That's
let
right.
him be
Mhm.
that.
He hasn't done that yet. I thought he already did it after
Yeah.
No, it's Monday because they said it last night. Said next week if Gunther wins, whatever, he becomes the longest reigning Intercontinental champion.
And you
Holy cow.
know darn well that WWE is about breaking titles, breaking records. So
But
Yeah, that
you
one's
never
held.
know.
That one's held. Isn't it held by the Honky Tonk Man?
Yes.
Yep.
Honky tonk.
Come on now. We can't take that off the Honky Tonk Man.
No.
I mean,
No,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's weird if you think about it, though. They might not. Look how long Honky Tonk Man has held that stinking record. Like, they might not.
Forever.
anybody. I mean, Chad Gable's a great wrestler, but I just don't know if he'd. I don't know.
If he should be the one to take the belt
I
off.
don't know that.
If
Baron
it
Corbin
was-
might be a better choice.
Oh, you might not be wrong.
I thought if anybody, it should have been Sheamus or Drew McIntyre to take it.
McIntyre.
Ooh,
One
yeah.
of those two
Drew
should have been the
McIntyre,
one to
yes.
take
Those
it. if he was gonna
those matches were the problem though is that Gunther he's a slimy heel. He's a very good heel and he's over. He's over. Like as a heel, he's over. When he comes out, like you could just see it. Like his entrance is sweet. Everything works and the crowd is into it. He hits hard. And he doesn't do anything flashy, but his matches are paced very, very good no matter who he works with. That's why him and Gable were like off the chain.
Yep.
Good match. He could work with somebody like Gable, but then he can work with Sheamus and then he can work with Drew McIntyre and they can have a completely different style match. So Gunther is like, he he's a champion that really can have a match with anybody, and it's really, really good. So it's hard.
I saw I don't know how true it is. I mean, we all know WWE how the rumors go, but I saw a rumor where next Mania is supposed to be, they like pitched the idea of Gunther and versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
If that is the case, I would take all of my money, literally take every single penny that I have. That will
Can you
be
imagine how hard hitting that match would be?
that's whew.
That would be.
if you're sitting ringside, you'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
I do that when I'm sitting on the couch. Like when I'll never forget that triple threat match with him and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I was on the couch like, God,
I was hurting.
dang,
I was hurting.
that hurt me. Yeah, that match was that was my favorite. That was my match of that night.
Yep.
I don't remember what night it was. Night 1, night 2, maybe.
I think it was night
2,
one,
I
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my match. That match was insane. Just
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know. I like I said, I like Gable, just the momentum he has, but he doesn't have enough to take it from Gunther right
No,
now.
not yet. Not yet.
no.
He's no Baron Corbin.
No, he's not.
No,
Not even close.
not yet. Maybe
Not even
one
close. Not even close to bum ass Corbin. I mean, you got to give.
No,
gotta
they
be
just-
a bum.
What they need to do, what WWE needs, they just need to pull the Nakamura injury angle and replace him with Bum Corbin, and Corbin win the title.
There you go. That's
Boom.
it. That's it. And then
Perfect.
Sting can come down and be his manager. There you go. All world would be great.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh.
Well, man, our time is out, man. We have actually gone over, but I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you so much, Bryce and Nikki D.
Yeah, I
Huge
wish I
pop.
could have been on longer, but I don't know. I guess my phone was just I don't know.
Just didn't want to work
anytime.
for you. Well, next time, man,
Anytime.
next time, we'll definitely make sure you're on. Oh, what is that? I can't. Oh, the Sting.
I'm sure it's something to do with Sting.
Wolf pack.
That's for you, Nikki D. Right there. Pay attention.
Oh,
Look, that's the one change he made. That's when he changed the white to red. That was the one change that he made.
Well, I got him too. So
hey, he's got the black and
Oh,
white
my.
Sting too.
Oh, there you go.
Don't let him fool you. He's got a Baron Corbin around there too.
I'm sure he's got like 5 of them.
He's in my.
He's got like
I
5
got
of
trading.
them.
I got trading cards that I like fires with. And
No.
he's on it.
He has. he also has a stand-up cardboard of Charlotte.
Oh yes, right.
That's off. Yeah, that's off camera. That's off camera.
I won't show that to you.
All right, man. Well, you fellas have a good night. Everyone
You
out
too.
there, thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments, man. Take it easy. Be easy. Be good. Let's end this.